my speech on hummingbird, and this is my audience. Okay. Good evening. Today I would like to talk to you about some amazing little creatures called hummingbirds. Did you know that the hummingbird's only natural habitat is in the Americas? That's right. They can range as far north as Alaska and as far south as Brazil. Many hummingbirds love the habitats of wooded areas or forested areas, places that have lots of flowers. They also love meadows and grasslands, and there are plenty of hummingbirds living quite well in large cities, small towns, cool areas, warm areas, places that get snow, and even desert environments such as ours. Hummingbirds live at a variety of altitudes across their habitats. They will range anywhere from between sea level and 14,000 feet above sea level. While most hummingbirds like the habitats of Central and South America, a few will travel north every year. Owl and hummingbirds mostly stay on the west coast in California, which of course that's where we're at. Most migrant hummingbirds depart the U.S. and Canada by the end of September, but a few will hang on, and they'll just hang out even longer. It's a really good idea to keep your hummingbird feeders out till the end of October, just in case, as we've seen. Try not to think of a hummingbird habitat as just a garden. When creating a habitat for hummingbirds, there are many things you need to think about, such as the type of garden you want to plant, the type of feeders you want to use, and the nectar that you make. Also think about places for hummingbirds to perch, bugs to eat, sun to fly in, and shade to rest in. Think of sheltered places for mother hummingbirds to make nests, so they can have a baby or two. You will also need to plan for space for the hummingbirds to fly around in, and do not try to make a hummingbird habitat in a cage. It's illegal to do that, and it's also really bad for hummingbirds. They need lots of space. Hummingbirds are so used to people and their habitats that once they trust you, they will come right up to you. It's not unusual for hummingbirds to come and check out a person to see if any brightly colored clothing will produce nectar. Some hummingbirds will drink from a feeder right in your hand and will even perch on your finger if you were standing still next to a feeder. You can make hummingbird nectar by heating 4 parts water and dissolving 1 part sugar in it. Make sure that you let the nectar cool before you put it in the feeder. Males and some females often have colorful gorgets, which are small, stiff, highly reflective colored feathers on their throats and upper chest. These shiny feathers and others around the head may look a sooty black until the sun catches it, and then they shine with intense metallic spectral colors. Hummingbirds belong to the avian family, Trochilidae, and their closest relatives are the equally fascinating swifts. Hummingbirds are very small, and they usually range between 2 and 20 grams, with long, narrow bills and small saber-like wings. The bee hummingbird of Cuba is only 1.95 grams, which means theoretically that you could actually mail 16 of those with 1 first-class stamp, which is 45 cents. The calliope hummingbird, the 4th smallest bird, weighs in at a whopping 2.5 grams, and that's less than an ounce. It can be found in the mountains of western Northern America, pretty close to here. The smallest birds, of course, come from the smallest eggs. That makes sense, right? How small, you may ask? Well, the 1 or 2 eggs in a ruby-throated hummingbird clutch are about as tiny as a pea, those little green peas, when they're dry. They actually are placed in a walnut shell-sized cup woven from spider webs and plant materials. Hummingbirds and swifts are able to stroke with power both on the down and upbeat for a wing flap. Their power and small size allows tremendous agility in flight. In fact, hummingbirds are the only vertebrates capable of sustained hovering, which means to stay in one place during flight, and they can actually fly backwards and upside down. To their maneuverability, hummingbirds add speed and stamina. Hummingbirds have been clocked at close to 30 miles an hour in direct flight and more than 45 miles an hour during courtship dives. Migratory ruby-throated hummingbirds have no problem flying 18 to 20 straight hours across the Gulf of Mexico. Of course, that's powered by their fat stores and given a bit of help from the wind. A ruby-throated hummingbird's heart beats from 220 5 beats per minute when it's at rest, or more than 1,200 beats per minute when it's in flight. Its wings beat about 70 times per second in direct flight, and over 200 times per second while they're in a dive. Can you even imagine how fast that is? Like, that's crazy fast. Hummingbirds are one of the few groups of birds that are known to go into torpor. Torpor is a very deep sleep-like state in which metabolic functions are slowed to a minimum and a very low body temperature is maintained. If torpor lasted for long periods of time, we would call it hibernation. Hummingbirds can go into torpor any night of the year when temperatures and food conditions demand it. Hummingbirds are the masters of torpor because they have to be. Their feathers offer poor insulation and they have incredibly high metabolic demand. Torpor allows them to check out physiologically when they can't maintain their 105 degree body temperature. Hummingbirds are protected under federal law and must be cared for only by professional wildlife rehabilitators. So, if you find a hummingbird that's in trouble, or a nest of young hummingbirds that are in trouble, do not touch them, do not mess with them, but call the nearest wildlife center that you can find. I do want to thank you for coming today to listen to some very interesting facts about hummingbirds. Now, I'd just like to show you a quick few pictures of hummingbirds, but one thing I do want you to remember whenever you're planting your garden, think about all these facts and you too can enjoy and witness those amazing feats by hummingbirds. That's a broad-billed male. That's an anise hummingbird, the male. Another one of the male anise hummingbirds. An anise female. An Allen female. We have those here. And a ruby-throated female. Thank you.